30-day art challenges. We've all tried them, we've all failed 90% of them, myself included. If you're not familiar, it's basically a prompt list made for artists where they're usually meant to draw something each day. There's so many out there by now, but the most infamous ones are Mermaid, Huevember, Goretober, Inktober. It's a great concept, especially for those who want to improve on their art. I think with nearly every challenge I've done, I have failed within the first 2 weeks. I have never completed a single one. I always get bored or stressed out and the motivation just fizzles out. But I was feeling overconfident this October and decided to try my hand at the CRINGETOBER 2024 prompt list. The prompts are just perfect for me. I ended up drawing a lot of fan art, which I don't often get to do. So that was fun. What was not fun was juggling CRINGETOBER and like 3 other projects at the same time. Don't be like me. Save the silly art challenges for months where you're not busy. Anyway, all that stuff out of the way, we have a ton of drawings to get through, so let's get started. Day 1, screenshot redraw. So fun. Redraws are great. I love them. Starting off with a bang, we have one of my favorite drawings right away. This never happens. I decided to draw Saika Maizono from Danganronpa. She's my favorite character in the franchise. I have since abandoned for the 3rd time. If you don't know Danganronpa, it's basically a sort of detective murder mystery game with a lot of graphic stuff. So if you can't handle that, don't even bother looking it up. The fandom loves spoiling people. It sucks, man. The summary of the game is that this generic anime boy protagonist wakes up in a classroom. He's been kidnapped. He looks around the school and meets Saika, this one right here, who's a pop idol. Evil marketable plushy bear then tells them it's a killing game, and to get out they have to kill someone and win a trial, and if they don't win, they die. Danganronpa definitely has its many flaws, but in my mind, Saika is the shining light in that game. She is just a silly little idol who tries to convince people she's psychic. I love her. For this screenshot, I chose this one from her closing argument, which just looks so badass and awesome. The closing arguments have the most delicious art style ever. I love it. Day 2, tsundere. Last year had yandere as a prompt, which is way more up my alley. Tsunderes, for those who don't know, are characters in anime usually who get flustered and aggressive when they are in love. The Nile is a river in Egypt. Your crush likes you back, girl. Calm down. I don't care for either really, but at least yandere sparks like awesome badass drawing ideas in my head. What am I supposed to draw a tsundere doing? Pout? I don't really watch anime, especially not romance animes or harems, which is usually where you find that tsundere character. So I had to desperately look up tsundere characters to just get an ounce of motivation and saw Saitama. That just made me lose all hope and resort to the lowest of lows, yandere simulator. Before you say anything, I don't support Yondev in the slightest. I think he made a bad game with a bad premise, and I think he's a bad person who should not be supported or uplifted. With that being said, I don't know any other tsundere characters other than Osana Najimi, so I drew her. Osana is the first rival and just proof of how bad of a game dev yandere dev is. 6 years for this mess? This one right here? This took you 6 years? Day 3, oversized prop. I had no idea what to do for this. I don't often draw props in my art. I should though, it's fun. And I didn't have any ideas for this that wouldn't take like weeks of studies. So I settled on a chainsaw that's slightly oversized. I know that's not a prompt, but I don't like this prompt. I modified it. The character I drew here is from a game called Lollipop Chainsaw. The main girl, Juliet, is such a cutie. I love the aesthetics in this game. I already really enjoy zombie-themed games, and it reminds me of Bayonetta, which I already loved. It's such a cute and cool mix of 2000s girly aesthetic and ugly, creepy zombies. Juliet is literally just me if I was a zombie hunter cheerleader and not a random teenage boy drawing in my room. She was so fun to draw. Her outfit is really simple, so it gave me more time to focus on her beautiful bedazzled chainsaw. You know, the focus on the picture. I've been messing around with gradients and overlays to spruce up boring and lazily colored drawings. It's an easy way to give the drawing more color variation. It is easy to go ham and do too much though, so be careful. I don't really have much to say. Julia is gorgeous and iconic, and I love her. Her and Nick are so funny. Finally drew the only girl with a head for a boyfriend. Day 4. Furry! I'm not a furry. I definitely was one before. There's proof. There's pictures. There's mental scars. But I'm not a furry anymore. I don't have a single problem with them though. The level of artistry you need to make a fursuit is incredible. Every type of furry has more talent in a single bone than any one of the haters. If you're furry watching this, guess what? I love you. Anyway, I don't think I've ever made a fursona before, so the most fun part was picking the animal. I asked my followers on Instagram and my friends for advice, and I got a lot of suggestions. I could make my sona just a full-on shark. Some said cat, different types of fish. A few people said squirrels. What is that about? I love squirrels, don't get me wrong. However, I settled on a golden retriever since I'm probably not comfortable with drawing any furry that's not a dog, not even a cat. I know that's kind of cowardly of me, but I wanted to get this out in time, which I didn't. It's November. I couldn't spend a ton of time studying sharks or whatever. Here he is. Why did I give him the biggest feet in the world? Dear God, I don't draw furries often, okay? I don't know their body to feet ratio. Day 5, Gijinka. I love making Gijinkas, but the question was, who do I pick? I wanted an Animal Crossing villager since they have such simple designs and personalities. You can do almost anything since they have such an open-ended design. I chose Sasha for my Gijinka since, what can I say, I love that guy. He's my gender fluid son and he can't even button up his shirt and he lives with the bugs. Sasha is an interesting character since he looks so much like a girl. Nintendo likes playing around with gender roles in their hit games like Pokemon and Zelda. But up until now, in my opinion, the villagers have been clearly gendered for the most part. But Sasha, your son looks like a girl! Let's get into the design process, shall we? I wanted to give him soft, curly hair and a round face. I think the only self-care he has ever done is a little bit of skincare and face masks since it makes him feel bonita. All that beautiful hair and clear skin is just genetics. I think he likes playing around with makeup and clothing, and I also gave him a cleft lip, since cleft lips are really beautiful. Lately, I've been really focusing on expanding the amount of representation in my art. I will definitely draw more characters with different types of cleft lips. He also gets cute uneven teeth, and he's always got a big old smile on his face. He's just a little princess. I don't know what you want me to say. That's my son. I love him. He's an angel. Day 6, a natural eye color. I was first gonna draw my OC Dolly. Watch that video, by the way. But then I remembered, oh wait, blue eyes exist. I mean, not bright blue, purplish eyes like she has, but that's a boring drawing for unnatural eye color day. A bright blue? So instead, I drew my girl Homura. She's such a cutie. I wanted to draw her early design. Since, no spoilers here, I'm an innocent man. Homura is my mom's favorite character in anime ever, so every time I draw Homura, I think of her, and I mostly draw Homura for her. We watched the whole anime together, and even from the first watch, I was completely captivated. The witch designs were so amazing and scary and creative, and the lore was crazy. Homura and Maruka are my babies. I love them. Here she is. She looks so cute and shy, and I'm so happy with the rendering. I love it, I love it, I love it. Mwah, I'm so happy with it. Day 7, crossover. I wanted to get real nostalgic with this one. Wink, wink. So I did My Little Pony cross with Inside Out. My version of Inside Out. If you haven't watched that video, you should. It's awesome. But I wanted to draw my nostalgia with a nostalgic character. Rainbow Dash. I don't know if this counts as a self-insert or if it's still a crossover. I really don't know. So what if I don't know the set terms for those? I do what I want. My video, my rules. I used to love My Little Pony so much that whenever I traveled as a kid, I would look out the window of the plane to see if Rainbow Dash was flying about. She was my favorite, even though I thought she was a boy and I didn't know how to pronounce her name. And I honestly don't even know if I had a single brain cell formed while I watched it. Nostalgia and her would not like each other. They seem friendly now, but just wait until they're talking for a few minutes and realize they have nothing in common and genuinely hate each other. Day 8, dead meme. Not much to say about this one. I'm sorry, I had no idea what dead meme to draw. So I drew my Sona in Among Us. I know it technically had a resurgence, but the meme is still dead. Nobody's laughing their pants off at red vented and sussy baka memes anymore. I would know since I had a terrible Among Us face. I would say sus and imposter constantly, and whenever there was a silence in a conversation, you know I was being like, guys, Sai invented. That's pretty sussy. I think he might be imposter. And the funny thing is, I can probably count on one hand the amount of times I have ever played the game. It must have been genuinely max 5 times. And I didn't even watch gameplay. I was just fully locked in on the idea and concept and meme of Among Us. I should draw my Sona more. I'm so happy with how I drew him. I think he looks pretty cute. By the way, if anyone's ever looked at my videos and wondered, oh wow, this guy making silly videos sure is awesome sauce, I wonder if he really has that long, luscious blonde hair, neon green eyes, and those triangular weird hands. I don't. I kind of look like Derek Zoolander, and my hands are normal. If you ever wonder what I look like, try and make Zoolander in a meme maker. That's pretty much it. Day 9, childhood video game. I had so many childhood video games I grew up with. I grew up playing Mario 64, Wii Sports, Minecraft. My favorite was definitely Legend of Zelda and the Skyward Sword. If you've ever seen my persona, which you did, you just saw him, you can definitely see the Link-isms creeping forward. I won't confirm or deny whether or not he was my transition goals, okay? That's for you to find out. Anyway, the reason I like Skyward Sword so much is easy. I love the loft wings. If you've never played it, basically they're these huge birds that are native to the Sky Islands that Link lives on. All of the residents fly around on them, have little tournaments. They're basically like horses in the newer games, but cooler, cuter, and awesome. I was too scared as a little 8-year-old to fight or explore, so I'd literally only fly around on my loftwing for hours. I also think it's really touching how close Link is to his loftwing. I'm a sucker for deep connections with pets. It's so adorable. I wanted to draw him and the loftwing as the classic forehead touch hug. Why does this happen every time? Day 10, ship dynamic. One of my favorite tropes, long distance soulmates. They also fit into a million others, but that's basically the essence of their dynamic. These are my OCs, Esmery and Josephine. I'll probably make a video on them someday, but the gist is that Josephine is a horse riding instructor who lives in a cozy village of farmers. She's seen as a role model for the people since she's the one who taught everyone how to ride horses. She's strict and believes firmly in that tough love is the best love, but she's also very nurturing and gives great advice and has the biggest heart in the world. Josephine's home is a seaside village, and in the middle of that sea is a small island with a few residents. One of them being Esmery. Esmery is a mermaid who lives in a houseboat. Now, you might be wondering, Sunny, if she's a mermaid, why doesn't she live underwater or just swim over to her girlfriend, Josephine, and live happily ever after? Well, Esmerie is disabled. She can't stand up and walk short distances, but it's really straining on her body, so she uses a wheelchair. Esmerie works as a flower saleswoman, so when she's visiting her girlfriend, she always gets such a huge boom in sales, since everyone loves her. Her and Josephine don't meet often, but when they do, it's the sweetest thing ever. I love them so much. I have to make a video! Day 11. 5+1 things. I've never been much of a fanfic reader, so I have no idea what this means. I'm sorry, I think it's like person A confessed to person B 5 times, only to be rejected, but then person B confesses to them 1 time, right? 5+1! 5+1 enthusiasts, please tell me if I'm way off, please? I wanted to make a comic because I love comics! And I wanted to make one for my OCs because I love them. Their names are Weston and Samuel, and their lore is pretty stupid. Weston is this recovering incel streamer whose main income is being a Discord mod. And Samuel is an amateur model who happened to stumble upon a crap ton of money one day and is one of the richest people in his country. They have been dancing around, just asking each other out for years. Weston would just flirt with him and ask him out all the time, but since he was literally a stinky Discord mod, Sammy said no, like a normal person. But slowly, he started accepting himself more and more, and letting that incel thing go. And then, Sammy fell all over him in love. Just warning you now, you will see a lot more of them soon. I'll probably make a video of them too, once I figure out what to do with them. Day 12. Hatsune Miku. If you know me, you know I like Miku. I have a whole OC inspired of her. I used to be a huge Vocaloid fan back in the good old days, just watching her music videos of random songs on loop, and that moving to playing Project Sekai on loop. I would draw her, buy a few figures, make her in every single character creator dress-up game imaginable. My favorite songs of her are these, by the way. They slap, dude. The day was technically including Vocaloid, and I'm pretty sure my favorite vocal synth, Teto, is now a Vocaloid. But I haven't really been in the Vocaloid sphere, and I'm not sure about that. And it used to be like a really huge thing, like you're a fake fan of Teto if you say she's a Vocaloid, so I didn't draw her, I just drew Miku. I never got to draw this cute one ponytail picture going around of Miku, and it breaks my heart. The trend was so adorable and I had to draw it. This ended up being my favorite drawing from the whole challenge. I tried to go for very simple shading and colors, but the colors are just so warm. I love it. It's so simple yet so effective. Day 13. Gender bend. Wow, Weston again. Who would have thought? I've always wanted to gender bend him just because I think it's fun gender bending androgynous characters and not changing anything. For his gender bend, I only wanted to make his hair slightly longer and also his body type changed, but that's obvious. I think his gender band would be taller than him in exchange that he probably has longer, thicker lashes than her, no matter how much mascara she puts on. I think my approach to gender bending is definitely not as interesting or big of a change. It might seem lazy or unfinished, but I'm barely changing things out of purely spite. I spent way too long watching people gender bend big, muscular, hot guys by removing all the muscle, giving them a completely different figure, long hair, and the most revealing clothes you've ever seen. There's a middle between those two, and I'm definitely aiming to do that one day. Anyway, Weston looks so cute and shy and awkward. I love him. He's not really shy at all. He's just corny and doesn't know how to communicate. Day 14. Incorrect quote. Look! Another comic! How wonderful. I love comics. I used to be a sucker for incorrect quotes. just putting me and my friends' names in hours on end and sending every slightly relatable one to them. Incorrect Quote Generator is basically just this website where you type in names and it spits out a funny conversation between them. It's great. I wanted to draw my OCs again because you can't stop me. It's my video. You've already met Samuel and Weston. Now I'll introduce you to two others. Vendetta, who's an emo wannabe playboy. He's such a simp for everyone and has no flirting or conversation skills, so he just ends up being too direct and freaking everyone out. He is best friends with Samuel and Weston, and they always get into wacky situations together. Now, the only girl in the comic, her name is Annabob. Don't question that name. She is Sammy and Weston's roommate. She used to be a Discord kitten, but now she's just a silly florist. She likes to beef with Weston and beat him up and make fun of Samuel and Vendetta. She's very short and angry and has good comebacks, and the diva meter is off the charts. Who is this diva? I picked this quote because I thought it was funny because they're beating each other up. Ha ha. Day 15, animation meme. I love animation memes so much. They're so nostalgic to me. I was a big fan of the classic animation memes. I'm talking Boom Boom Boom. I'm talking Wonderland. I'm talking Medicine. I'm talking Legs. I'm talking freaking like the Weeb one. You name it, I've seen it. I remember me and my friends made this like wolf cave that was just a cardboard box where we would repeatedly draw wolves and foxes like just constantly and tape it on the walls, and animation memes were just playing on loop the whole time. We then discovered FNAF that specific day and drew a ton of animatronic wolves. Then his mom banned us from drawing FNAF since he had a nightmare. Anyway, I'm trying to get better at tweening, so this is good practice for me. I wanted to do the Chihuahua animation meme on TikTok. It's so cute! And I saw a girl draw the ASL signs for the letters instead of just typing them out, and I thought that was cool. So, of course I drew my persona again. I'm really trying to have drawn him more so I can get more familiar. He looks so stupid and way too happy to be bobbing his head and showing off his limited sign language skills. I love my persona, dude. I really didn't record myself animating since, oops, I forgot. Day 16, something you've been bullied for. I could have gone really deep and emotional for this one, but nah. Let's draw my Sona again with cat ears this time because why not? I was definitely bullied a lot for being weird and having an obsession with being kawaii, real half cat, half human guy. Meow. I would say corny things like, oh yeah guys, I'm a cat, I have great balance. And then fall just standing up straight. Or, guys, I literally have night vision, I'm a cat. Then start crying if someone turned the light off. I was such a boy fail, it's unreal. You can really see my motivation just slowly vanish doing this challenge. This and the next one was my final burst of energy before the storm. I really like how vibrant and saturated I made his hair. I always love shading and rendering yellow. I don't know why. Yellow is like one of my least favorite colors. No hate to yellow lovers, you're based. Day 17, free to use base. I used to love free to use bases as a kid. They were my life support. Sadly, I don't know the artist of the original here since Pinterest. All websites are just terrible at crediting base makers, and it's impossible to find the original artist. So if anyone knows who made this base, please tell me. I wanted to draw my OCs, Dolly and Ramona. If you've already seen the video of them, you know this drawing. Basically, they're these two friends who make a fashion magazine with 5 other girls to end the strict dress code in their school. And they have a whole thing going on. Dolly and Ramona really hit it off, and they love watching scary movies together and dressing up together. Their dynamic is very always on the same page. Sharing one brain cell, these two spend way too much time around each other. They have completely different upbringings, interests, and hobbies, which makes it even more crazy that they're so in sync. Day 18, Fandom AU. I didn't really have any ideas for this one since I only really do OC AUs, which definitely don't have a fandom. So I decided to draw my main interest right now, Saw, which means that this is going to be a super short section. Saw is this horror movie series that's really graphic and honestly, most people don't like it. And since most of my audience is young, I'm not gonna say enough for you guys to want to get into it because seriously, don't. I just drew this girl, Amanda, in a different plot of the movie that she's in. The first movie was 80% of these two guys with strange tension in a bathroom, one of them being tasked to kill the other one if he wants to survive, blah 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 blah. And basically, they just have a saw and they're chained to different parts of the room. I just drew Amanda in that because I was tired and bored and lazy. Sorry I made this section so boring. I did it on purpose. Please don't watch these movies! Day 19, alternative fashion. You can really tell that my motivation is dwindling at this point. I again drew my OCs, Dolly and now Ashlyn this time. They both have alternative fashion, so I thought it would fit. Their dynamic is that Dolly used to bully Ashlyn in middle school before. So Ashlyn then got back at her by framing her or pranking her really badly. Now, their relationship is really strange and made even harder by the fact they have to cooperate in the school magazine together. Dolly is this popular pick-me mean girl who's secretly a weird kid and super smart. And Ashlyn is this troubled delinquent, covered in tattoos and always in detention. But she's secretly a huge nerd and only does bad things and rebels to fit in with her group of friends. If Dolly and Ashlyn got over past differences and just talked over their struggles together, maybe they could convince each other to be themselves and stop caring about fitting in with the wrong crowd. That's why I love them so much! Cause angst and miscommunication is so fun. Day 20, Tumblr sexy woman. Okay, don't get me wrong, I'm all for a woman dethroning those skinny emo boys over on Tumblr, but the list made me feel really weird about picking one. Nearly every girl was a minor or just weirdly looked really young. If they weren't that, then I had no idea who they were, so I went for the green M&M. Since she's safe. I'm not deep into the M&M lore, but from what I can gather, the green M&M is a diva. She knows she's the shit and she owns it. I love that. I wanted to draw her as an office siren. But then I remember, what the heck, the brown M&M is literally an office siren. She has the glasses and everything. So I felt kinda stupid. Let's just say my human M&Ms are an office AU. For whatever reason, they're both office sirens together. I thought putting the logo in her bangs would be funny, like she's probably gluing that bang with hairspray every day so it has that perfect M logo. Also, the nails are way too long for obvious reasons. She definitely has that secretary who seems like she does not work at all, but then she miraculously has all the work done by the end of the day somehow. Even though you watched her hang on her phone and flip through magazines the whole day, she's just that talented. Day 21, closet cosplay. This one was definitely meant for like multimedia, and I was probably meant to cosplay a character and take a picture and just slap it on here and be like, yeah guys, I cosplayed freaking Derek Zoolander, but I didn't. I drew it. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? So obviously I drew my Inside Out Joy as Brazilian Miku. Why wouldn't I? She already has the color scheme down and those huge flowing fins on her head remind me of Brazilian Miku's curls more than Miku's regular pigtails. I love Brazilian Miku's design. I think she's really cool, and it's so cool that someone's alternate Miku design got so popular. This was, by the way, my first drawing on Procreate. You can tell by my lack of knowledge on different brushes and the layout and everything. I really like Procreate. It's just hard to get used to after such a long time using Ibis Paint. So, quick side note, I've seen a lot of people get confused at Brazilian Miku or blaming people for drawing her for like erasing Miku's original appearance or culture. I just like to say, Miku was made by the creator to be a completely mendable character, interpreted in every way. Making Miku a Brazilian woman is no different than making her a Japanese man and gender bending her, or making her hair pink for all I care. Every version of Miku is as much Miku as the next one, since she's made to be changed. Day 22, Candy Gore. I'm not a huge fan of candy gore, or gore in general. I think that drawings with gore can be really meaningful and cool and awesome, but I prefer way more in a stylish, metaphoric way so that I don't have to deal with being accurate at all. I wanted to draw another character from a past video of mine. Anger. He is probably my favorite, even though the clear crowd favorite was Fear. Y'all are such a sucker for clown designs. Fine, I get it. Anger is a fun character for Candy Gore. Since, look at this guy, he's a little creepy freak. Then you're gonna draw him with cutesy, brightly colored guts and blood? Nuh-uh, he'd hate that so bad. I went so simple with this because I'm just going to be honest. I procrastinated this, so I was fully doing 3 drawings a day and I did not have time to F around. Day 23, adult cartoon. This might be the worst of them all. I couldn't think of an adult cartoon and looked up lists and rankings and found Gravity Falls, a series that I love. But I'm like 99.9% sure it doesn't count. It's for like preteens. But I don't watch shows like Family Guy or Simpsons or Bob's Burgers. I didn't have anything else to draw. Forgive me. I decided to draw Mabel since she's my favorite. Literally me if I was a 13-year-old girl with 100 different funny knitted sweaters. One of my favorite things about Mabel are her costume changes between each episode. It's such a breath of fresh air considering most cartoon characters have the same clothes and hair every single day without fail. She's also super charming and funny and makes the series more relatable to the people watching it. She's just a silly little girl, and that's the best type of character out there. Day 24, niche interest. Little old dumb ass me decided to draw Saw again since the brain rot is severe, forgetting that these are for a YouTube video and I can't talk about that. This character is Lynn Denlin. She's a doctor. I love her. This drawing is bad and we're moving on. Don't watch Saw, kids. Day 25, Gotcha Life, spelled wrong for some reason that made me giggle. I know a lot of my fans on here are gacha creators. I just wanted to say, I've been there and it's great. Before the channel was an art channel like it is today, I made gacha videos all day and posted them. Don't try and look for them, they're nowhere to be found. I decided for this day I would draw one of my mutuals and friends on YouTube, Lovey Lilies. Please check them out. Their editing skills are incredible and they're super nice. They've been here commenting since day 1, y'all. Their OC was so fun to draw. Gacha characters are always so fun to draw since they have really cool features and accessories and nice color palettes. I'm not happy with how I colored this piece, sadly. Let's just look at the line art. Ooh, so cool. Ooh, I fuck with you heavy, Lovey Lilies. Day 26, Mary Sue. I swear y'all, the motivation meter is underground at this point. I was so over this. I just channeled that one audio I remember from 2018 that was like some woman reading out all the traits of a Mary Sue or something. If you remember, you remember. I just tried to make her look as ugly and busy as possible. One day, I'll have to make a video redesigning a Mary Sue and making her look better as an apology for this abomination. I thought the line art was cute again and the coloring just screwed me over. What is the deal with that? Day 27, YouTuber fan art. I forgot this one was even on here, which is why 2 of these are YouTuber fan art. Whatever, we move on. One of my favorite YouTubers at the time right now is the wonderful Emma Artley. Her videos are so great and of so high quality, and she somehow manages to post so often. I can only dream. I wanted to draw her time travel OCs since they're so kawaii. I could cry. Sugoi, sugoi, sugoi. Jane and Emmett are so pookies and beautiful. The again and again amatic broke me. Why don't they end up together? I wanted to redraw a very popular painting over the years by J.C. Leyendecker. It's so sweet and gentle and the colors are so gorgeous. I had to. I'm so happy with how this turned out. It's so precious. Day 28, mascot horror. I was stumped on this. I don't really know any other mascot horror games but FNAF. And I'm not very good at drawing animatronics, so I drew the marionette because they're so cool, dude. So cool. I wanted to draw a sort of like intimidation or jump scare scene. Like imagine the night guard is scared of Freddy Fazbear or something, looking around in the closets for something he can chuck at the guy, and then he finds this little freak and starts crying. Day 29, experimental makeup. Again, this one was probably made to do IRL, then just slap a picture on here, but I didn't. Instead, I just made a bad drawing that I had to fix with liquify tools and a dream. I don't know what was wrong with my brain. I could not figure out the anatomy in my head, but it's so obvious to me now that the eyes are way too big and the face looks really short. Anyway, this is Esmarie again. She doesn't often do her makeup since she already has those colorful scales around her eyes. She doesn't feel like she has the need to. Esmarie prefers to accessorize and wear put together and thoughtful outfits. If she lived in modern day, she'd accidentally be TikTok famous for doing fit checks. Day 30, monster or supernatural. I decided to draw my Envy design since she's a ghost. If you haven't watched the video where I talk about her, basically on her wedding the groom was outed for cheating on her with her best friend. So she lost her mind and tried to attack the groom and her best friend. They got away, luckily for them, but now that she's dead, she's still looking for them all the time. But at the same time, she's not. She's busy making me feel envious and jealous. Since she's the inside out emotion girl and she doesn't have enough time to care about that stuff anymore. She's too old and too busy. I really like this drawing. Wow, you guys are slowly getting to see more and more of her face. How lucky! Day 31, Halloween! Halloween is my favorite holiday ever, and being done with this challenge is my favorite thing ever. However, editing Sunny is a lot less happy about this drawing than ArtStation Sunny, cause guess who keeps drawing Saw? That idiot! Stop! I drew myself as the girl I drew a niche interest since she's my favorite. Also, real hair reveal. Yikes, I'm not a blonde boy, guys. I'm sorry. I told you I look like Zoolander, dude. Ugh, we're finally done with this whole challenge. 31 drawings in 31 days. Not really. That's a pretty big achievement if you ask me, especially since if you count the drawings not in this video, it's more like 40 drawings in 31 days. Not really. I don't think these type of challenges are for me, honestly. They're really stressful and put a lot of pressure on me. I genuinely did not enjoy it after the halfway point. I think it's too strict framework for me. I prefer loose challenges with no due date cause I will explode. Also, this video is already long enough, so I think I'll call it here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a like. I appreciate you so much. And don't worry, I'm not even bleeding. Wait.